After the letters are written, they're mailed. There are 4 mailboxes like this in downtown Dallas that the youngsters can put their mail in. Or, if the youngster wants to, he can simply write North Pole 75200, and they'll reach the downtown Chamber of Commerce. There's a committee assigned specifically at this time of year to work as Santa's helpers. Their goal is to answer all the mail they can. The results were not only maintaining the faith in that dear old gentleman, but receiving the heartfelt thank yous from the kids who received the letters from Santa. Hunter Michael of the Downtown Dallas Chamber of Commerce explains.
Well, the thing about it is, of course, we have to be very careful that we screen the letters to make sure that we do the proper thing. For example, we regret that there are so many letters that we get that have no return address, and of course those are just letters we cannot reply to. And this is a sad thing in a way, but this does exist. And then, of course, letters that are in general, or we don't particularly come out and say to them that we're going to bring you that train or bicycle. We don't take it specific because this would be too difficult to do. We don't know what, shall we say, Santa Claus's bag will contain.
The Democratic Party in Texas has had perennial problems for scores of years because of the failure of Texas to have a law authorizing political parties to protect themselves against infiltrators and party wreckers. 40 states in this union have party purity laws which help protect the honesty and the purity of our political system by making it a crime illegal for members of one political party to cross over into the primaries and conventions of another party and thereby deny that opposite party the right to pick its own candidates to carry its banner.
Junior college students are unhappy over what they claim is unfair pressure on certain unnamed faculty members to resign. In a meeting today, student David Stockton explained the students' viewpoint.
I would like to emphasize the fact that although no instructor has been officially informed that their contracts will not be renewed, it is common knowledge among the faculty that the school administration has already made the decisions about this matter. These unofficial decisions by the school administration affect every faculty member and every student on this campus.
Some administration officials were asked to the meeting to listen. One, Dr. Philip Spiegel, the Dean of Instruction at TCJC, was asked to comment on Stockton's remarks from the administration viewpoint.
In terms of the total operation that we're talking about, it's hard for me to respond to each point, but all decisions have not been made. everything is not final in terms of what recommendations will or will not be made. I know their status now, but I can assure you that everything isn't finalized at this stage of the game, that everything isn't finished in all categories. And so some things are still up in the air and some decisions are still being made.
As of this moment, everything is unofficial. Faculty members must be notified by December 15th as to the status of next year's contract. Students here admit that they're putting pressure on the administration. Pressure, in their words, for the administration to listen to them and be fair. Jerry Park, Channel 8 News on the Move, Tarrant County Junior College, Fort Worth.
Well, it was a rather crude way to fire him. I'm not passing judgment on president that picks his own cabinet. That's his right to pick his own cabinet. That's his responsibility. And the president's got a right to have a cabinet officer that agrees with him and supports what he says. Of course, I support the Hickel view. I think that Hickel's done some good things as secretary. Most of all, he started trying to protect the environment. When Hickel was nominated, grave questions were raised about whether he would really move in the field of conservation. The Alaska senators came to me and said, Ralph, we assure you that if you vote for Senator Hickel, Governor Hickel, you'll be satisfied with his performance. I am. Everything I had to do with him, except the big thicket, he wouldn't come out with a recommendation there. Everything else, I think he made a good Secretary of the Interior.
On the part of the City Council as a result to set aside a part of the forthcoming bond sale for the repair of same. Gentlemen, it's been a year.
The point is reached of fencing this ditch, and certainly the city would be agreeable to fencing that portion which we are responsible for, and that is the abutment areas as well as the two lots that we now own there and we purchased to reserve for access into the ditch when we get the money to adequately construct the drainage boxes. If the homeowners in that area would be agreeable to joining us in a fencing program, I'm sure that you'd find us receptive to that. Certainly, it's the obligation of this city commission to listen to the voice of the people and carry out their wishes. And if a bond issue is called, and I again restate that I wouldn't hesitate to recommend it to the council that we do that. But were it called and passed with the full understanding that it would be paid for with a tax rate increase and the people voice their pleasures on it, then I would be willing to start negotiating on a contract at the very earliest date.
The Fort Worth Chamber of Commerce Development Corporation has bought up several blocks of land just this side of the Tarrant County Convention Center. In buying up these buildings, they had a problem. Somehow they had to demolish them so that they could rebuild new buildings and have a thriving business community just on the edge of downtown Fort Worth. How to destroy these buildings? That was the problem. Well, they solved it. One man has an unusual Christmas present, Pete Yarborough. Pete's here with me at this time, and I'm going to let him tell you about it. Pete, what sort of Christmas present did the Chamber of Commerce Development Corporation give you?
Well, it gave me a real good Christmas present.
And what's that?
Well, by giving me this building, for instance,
You mean you got this building without any money at all?
Yes, sir. And by giving me this building, I guess I'll have a good Christmas this year.
And what are you going to do with it?
Well, I really don't know yet.
When you tear down the building, what do you do with the materials?
Oh, well, sell the material that I get out of it.
But what are you going to do with the money when you get it?
Well, I'll probably buy my wife a nice home.
Is this your little fella here?
Yes, sir.
What's his name?
Alex.
Alex. Well, Alex will have a good Christmas as a result of it anyway.
Yes, sir. Don't do that.
Pete, Merry Christmas to you a little early. Hope you have a real nice one.
Thank you.
So there it is. The Fort Worth Development Corporation of the Chamber of Commerce has made a nice Christmas, at least for the Yarborough family. Art Sinclair, Channel 8 News on the Move, Fort Worth.
And it made me do a lot of thinking and a little less sleeping, because I have the petition here in front of me and the facts there that was presented over a year ago.
Texas is one of the only 10 states in the Union which permit this party raiding. Another is Tennessee, and you see the results. Albert Gore, one of the all-time great senators of the Senate, defeated. That's the result of poor laws in these two states. Well, we've had party raiding here in Texas. In Texas, last May the 2nd, we've had careful checks made. A minimum of 200,000 Republicans crossed over into the Democratic primary and voted for a senatorial candidate who had quit the Democratic Party in the 50s to support the Republican candidates for the presidency. Time after time, the Democratic Party in Texas has been raided as ruthlessly as the Korean communists boarded the Pueblo on the high seas, shackled Commander Butcher and his crew, and took the vessel captive. The Republicans boarded the Texas Democratic Senate ship in the primaries last May, took it captive, and sailed it into Spiro Agnew waters, and he's been bragging on the nominee ever since then. And